Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Formula Racing TV. Welcome back to Assetto Corsa Competizione. It is round number 6 of the Super Sprint Sunday, Tier 1 category reserved for Pro and Silver drivers. And tonight we're racing at the home of Formula Racing League admin and fellows, because we are at the iconic track of Silverstone. I'm Andrea Mattavelli, and tonight I'll be moving to Tier 2, to Tier 1, to replace my fellow companion Jack Prentice, who did some press room at Brands Hatch during the British Touring Car Championship. Big hello to Jack Prentice and to everyone who's watching us, and we are ready for the commentary and bringing you live all the action for the Super Sprint Sunday here at Silverstone. Of course, it's round number 6, so it's the penultimate round before the season finale next week at Suzuka in Japan. And there is a championship on the table for all these amazing drivers who are separated in both Pro and Silver tier. And there's a big fight on our hands with lots of great drivers trying to make the difference as we reach the climax of season 22. Of course, it is my first time commentating the Tier 1 Super Sprint Sunday Championship, but I will try to do as much as best job as I can. And of course, before starting, I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined us, who helped us a lot throughout the season, to our Patreon supporters who really helped us a lot, and really hope you'll be having fun in these 2 races that we have at the store at Silverstone tonight. The 25 minutes Racing's Rally, that's the first one, and then the second will be the 45 minutes Reverse Harris Astor. So a lot to watch us as free practice is over, with Widler in the Ferrari getting the top spot with 1 minute 58.1. Then Fracker, Sharp, Will Friedman, the championship leader, in 4th place. Of course, it's a long rivalry with Fabio Travaglioli, who is second in the championship, but Travaglioli, at least for now, is not present and is not racing. So for Friedman, it's a big chance to gain a huge advantage for the season finale at Suzuka. There's still a lot of contenders who want to keep the championship wide open. Most of all, Borja Hihirei and from Spain, who I raced a little bit, and South Africa, Jared Vermeulen, who have quite a strong results to their name. Borja Hihirei with some podiums, Vermeulen with 4 victories, but also some inconsistent, disappointing finishes. For now, we have we have Vermeulen and Hihirei without lap time, so who knows who will stay at top after the one-shot qualifying that starts now. So we have only 10 minutes to determine the starting grid for race 1 here at Silverstone. Remember, it's Super Sprint Sunday Tier 1 Championship. It is the penultimate round, so every point, every position will count at this point. We see now that number 10, Widler, after getting first in a free practice session, is the first also to exit the pit lane. And so he will be the one to watch, because he will be the first to presumably be the first to set the lap time. Paul Widler, who claimed second place at race number 2, Red Bull Ring, as best result. St. Curtis is 10th in the championship. It looks like he wants to gain some good results in this home round. Of course, a reminder of the championship table. We have Will Friedman with 286 points leading the way. Fabio Travaglioni second with 273. Boha Hihire 259 in third. Jerry Vermeulen fourth with 251 points. Then Canadian Mark-Kevin Brustudi with 235 points. But for this race, so I didn't see if it was there or not, but it's there, and he's trying some drift on the Porsche. Hopefully it did not burn some of the tire grip in that move. Then we have Johnny Sharp, 230 points for the Ferrari driver, who for now plays the waiting game, waiting for the track to get better and have less traffic. Then Lake Colspitz, 224 points, and Terry, 222 points. Gordon Brown in 9th place with the Audi. It's 250 points for him. And rounding up the top 10, as I said before, Paul Widler with 230 points. That's Widler. Oh, I already lost it, and I think that's his lap almost already done, unless he can rejoin if he did not finish. So let's see now on the Ford Mustang of Jamie Tucker, who now done the Magos Beckett Chapelle section. You know, it is doing the hanger straight towards the Stowe corner. Of course, Silverstone circuit does not need any presentation whatsoever. The Northamptonshire track, who was born after the Second World War, 1948, and hosted the first Formula One race in 1915. The track layout, the one who is named as Arena Grand Prix Circuit, 5.8 kilometers, 80 corner, and some of the most historic corners, of course, of the British and the world motor racing stages. But of course, it's also, apart from Formula One, it also hosted several other major events like MotoGP, European Le Mans Series, British Touring Car, British GT, and also Silverstone Classic, and also used to have a round of the World Endurance Championship, the World Superbike. So really universal track with a lot of opportunities to overtake and for some great battles. So hopefully we'll be having our festival for these two races tonight. Attackers at the first lap time of the evening, 1:58.9. Then Bermuda goes even faster, 57.5. But the Ferrari driver still pushes it, but he's done the job. Bruce Tuesday 1 second behind the South African, and he sits second, and in fourth with the Lexus. Widler restarts now, so he will have another lap, I think. Rolf Gierman is fourth. Let's see, Popov in the Aston Martin. He's doing the lap now. Let's see, Marco Lido in the sole place of the track. It's beginning also his lap time. Let's have a look now on Boha Hihire, who's set to probably set his lap time. Reminder, only one fast lap for each of the drivers, so the pressure is on all of them. And for Boha Hihire, of course, who sits currently third in the championship, it's a matter of bolts to try to gain the best starting grid possible. It's fourth now, 1.9 behind Vermeulen. He's ahead of Kalugin, Gierman, and Handley. And let's see now where all the others will place. And now all the eyes on Will Friedman, championship leader on this purple Ford Mustang of Extreme Sports, the French driver who has yet to win a race, but claimed several podiums and strong finishes. Always finished in the top 10 when he sees the checker flag, and knowing his abilities, a fast driver on the single lap, I expected to try to be as close as possible, if not even ahead of Vermeulen, who currently sits at the top of the standings. McGowan in the McLaren, second fastest, almost 7 tenths behind Vermeulen, the South African, still on the top for now, when we have 3 minutes and a half left in the qualifying session. Will Friedman now approaching, doing the Luffield and the Woodcote corners and closing the lap, while Marcolino sets last P12 for the Nissan driver. Will Friedman started up now, and he started in the cops as one driver went off his car number 68 of Lino. While Will Friedman does his lap time, let's see for others who could possibly try to put their car on the top of the front row. We have Morgan Grace now in the Audi. Behind him we see a Lamborghini. I think it's the big one of Monorweg. It might be, yes it is. And let's see, Morgan Grace now approaching the final corner, taking all the line possible, all the track possible in the Audi, and he starts his lap time now. Let's see, Ed forgot to Brown some problems as he warming up his tires for the occasion. And behind him, Fiedler in the Ferrari, doing the job for now. We'll try to set a lap time. After that, we'll be straight watching Will Friedman as he's coming now to the Brooklands to try to finish it up. Fiedler now, let's see where he will finish. It is a P3 for the Ferrari driver, so good qualifying effort for the British one. Now to the French, Will Friedman, to Luffield, and Woodcote. And that's the lap done for Will Friedman. And now want to get across the line. Let's see where he puts it. It's a second fastest, only behind Vermeulen, who for now still is on pole position. But for Friedman, that is a good lap time, considering he for now it's only 9th place. And let's see if some other drivers will put themselves in the middle of the championship contender. Michael Harris in the Mercedes. Across the line now as he finishes his lap time. Where does he put it? And he puts the 5th fastest ahead of Bruce Studi, Sharp, Paris, Tucker, Monorweg. And that's a good lap time by the Mercedes driver. And another lap by Postel, slots ahead of Marcolino. Now Morgan Grace in the Audi. Where does the Audi go? He goes 10th fastest behind Tucker and ahead of Monorweg's Lamborghini. Now Luke Colpitz in the grey BMW as the checker flag down falls down. So it's qualifying over for everyone who will see the checker flag. And Colpitz only does 18th. Samuele Gerbino, the Aston Martin going all, but it's only P21, even behind Marcolino. So not a good qualifying for the Italian. Now Gordon Brown in the Audi R8 trying to set a lap time, try to be as near as possible as his colleague Morgan Grace in the R8. It's P15 between the Kalugin and Rolf Gierman. So good job to him. Now Ola in the Lexus. It's 10 fastest, so it's a top 10 qualifying for now for the Lexus guy, and that's good to hear. Harvey in the BMW. It also is the time, and it's P18. P18. Eden in the other Lexus goes 19 fastest, and now the only one left is Václav Pospisil in the Porsche. Reichings the Sabato and Anders Daddy will not set a lap time. So now it's all in the hand of Václav Pospisil, the Czech Republic driver in the Porsche. If he does not go any faster than Vermeulen, the South African will clinch an important pole position for race 1, just ahead of his championship rival, Will Friedman. Of course, every point counts, so don't count out the Ferrari driver yet, even if he's 30 and over points behind Will Friedman. Same can be applied to Brustuli or to Borja Higigay. Even if the Spanish is only P13 for now, unless Václav Pospisil can put his Porsche ahead of Borja's BMW. Let's see. Pospisil, and he goes into the pit lane, so he does not set a qualified lap time, and the session is over in style with that slide. And so, as you can see, Jari Vermeulen from South Africa clinches pole position for race number 1 here at Silverstone. Will Friedman 6 tenths away from the Ferrari guy, but will start from the front row and try to take control of the situation for the championship. McGowan and Bieder will go to match on the second row. Harris and Brustuli will start from third row. Sharp and Perez from row number 4. And Tucker and Oya from row number 5. And all of the others will be joining with Borja Higigay, P13. He needs some strong results in a race for avoid to be sliding out of contention for the season finale at Suzuka. So a lot of teams, a lot of anticipation for the Silverstone round of Super Sprint Sunday Tier 1 Championship Season 22, who reaches more and more of the climax. And so we'll be doing a small break, and then we'll be heading back to the track for the starting procedure of race 1 in Silverstone. Stay tuned. And we're back on the starting grid for race 1 here at Silverstone, Super Sprint Sunday, Tier 1. And we're minutes away for the start of the 25 minutes reaching rally. Again, thanks to FRL Patrick supporters and all that. And also, I don't know if I'm confusing Super Sprint Sunday with Taco Tuesday because I'm more familiar with commenting Taco Tuesday Tier 1. So, if any slip up eventually will occur, I'm sorry in advance. So, back to the grid. Again, Gary Vermeulen on pole position after a stunning lap. Will Friedman, the championship leader, on the front row. Friedman has 27 points of advantage on Hiki Ray and 35 points of advantage on Vermeulen. So it's still a strong position for the French. Then some surprises we see on the second row because we see McGowan and also we've seen Paul Widler on second row.
20 seconds.
Then it's there is Michael Harris and Marceline Bruchtulli on third row. Then there's Johnny Sharp and Paris and Tugner and Ola to round up the top 10. Boha Hire starting 13 and forcing himself to a comeback to try not lose many points from Vermeulen and from Friedman. The cars all left there. Great spots ahead directly for the start of the old straight. The one before Cops for start. Race number 1 here at Silverstone for the Super Sprint Sunday Tier 1. All the cars now are waiting for the green flag for the start of race 1, and we're underway with Vermeulen doing a good start and keeping the first place ahead of Will Friedman, who still sits in second place. Behind him is all great battle again. Now Harrison and Vidal, with Vidal staying for now ahead, while others now are trying to move up the table with a Sharp on Paris and Tucker. That's all the Ford Mustang also just a little bit of time and grip. There's another BMW, I think it is happy. While Hiki now tries to move him outside of Morgan Grace, who prevents that with a huge braking. Hiki moves up one spot, it's P12 for now. But ahead, we see Vermeulen still leading from Friedman and all the others. Hiki and Grace still fighting, but the Spanish are staying behind the Britishman for now, while Vermeulen is all under control. It's first, Friedman behind 6th, 10th, McGowan still third, Vidal in 4th, Harris in 5th, and Bruchtulli in 6th. So it's all working good now for Gary Vermeulen ahead of Will Friedman. And of course for Vermeulen, it's important to take a victory and try to climb up the ranking, while Hikige moves up past Morgan Grace. So it's happy to P11, 2 position recovered by the Spanish driver, who's now putting Tucker in the 4th for 10th place. And while the top 6 already went underway and went away from the others. Ola is holding a small trade with Per, Sharp, Tucker, Hige, and Grace, and all of the others. Vermeulen already trying to take business here of Will Friedman. Fastest lap time for the South African driver ahead of Will Friedman. 7 times between the top 2 of this race. Then the McGowan still in 3rd, Vidal in 4th, Harris in 5th, Bruchtulli in 6th. Then behind Ola we are having almost like a rumble because they're all really close to each other. With Hikige now really up on the tail of a Mustang Tucker for 10th place. Let's see, in a battle of engines, speed, who will come at top at the Stowe corner. He goes to the inside, trying to take the position away from Tucker. But look at Morgan Grace, who's losing in the inside, trying to take 2 for 1. He almost does it, but he manages to take past Tucker and moves up to 10th place, Grace up to 11, while Tucker lost 2 places in a couple of seconds, and now it's under attack by Andrew Callaghan, the Russian driver in the McLaren. Brown moved past Monoweg for 14th. Already a lot of action from the midfield, with Monoweg trying to fight back from Brown, but it goes a little bit too wide, and so it's forced to abort any attempt of the attack. But now Brown can try again on Callaghan. Good exit from the arena corner. Now into the corner to the outside. Brooks at the left field, but stay behind Callaghan. Not a chance to overtake for now. He still sits behind, while Hihire has been passed by Morgan Grace, so it's down to P11 again for the Spanish driver in the BMW. A great first stint for now for Morgan Grace, while ahead the top 6 drivers, all trying to get away, but now there are only 4 of them because Harris committed a mistake and slowed down Brustuli with it. And look at Ola, Perez and Sharp trying to catch up on the pair for 5th place, and Brustuli, the Canadian, trying to move this side. But Matthew Harris almost went wide, but managed to keep it tight to the racing line to keep a 5th place, while Ola, Perez and Sharp all behind, trying to recover and to join the party for 5th place. And for now, Harris has the advantage after resisting to the attack, to the aggressive attack of the Canadian at the Stowe corner. It's not looking like Brustuli can pass him again. He had his chance. 3.4 tenths between Harris and Fiddler. So it's all set in different groups, in different parts of the track. And while we'll see a battle behind between the Brown and Eden and the Lexus up the side of Brooklands. Goes a little bit wide, but stays on the racing line, so Eden moves past Gordon Brown for P15 in the Lexus. A good job so far for the Lexus guy. Eden in 16, and Ola, who for now sits in 7th, and is catching to Matthew Harris and Marceline Brustuli. That's a really hard name to remember. I could name it Mark, but then it will be reminiscent of title card. If you know the joke, you know. No need for music for that one. Meanwhile, Bohahiga is still trying to make moves on Morgan Grace to try to get at least a top 10 spot. Started from P13, the Spanish driver has some difficulties to try attacking Grace in the Audi. Not the best impression so far with Tucker and Callaghan still following behind. Meanwhile, for Vermeulen, it's all doing so far so good. With over 2.7 seconds gained on Will Friedman, who maybe it's a little bit of a problem, maybe lost a little bit of time in the middle sector. I know she's McGowan only half a second behind. And I don't think Will Friedman will be thinking of any chances of victory today. He will be hoping to maintain second place to gain valuable points. Meanwhile, Mark Brustoli, I'm naming a Mark to avoid any difficulties, any struggles. Now, oh, and Harris lost it! Harris lost it in the back section! He's into the gravel! That's incredible! Michael Harris in the Mercedes is now falling down the order. He's rejoining, he's behind even Eden, behind the Motorwagen, Brown, and even Ralph Gilman, so he's down in 17th place. They all went terribly wrong for Michael Harris. And that means free place for Hihi Ray. We now enter the top 10, even though he's still behind Morgan Grace. And look at that, we have the Paris now putting pressure on Ola for 6th. It's fought against Lexus, and look, it tries from the outside, but there's no many room now. Tries again on the inside, and Lexus is preparing for the switcheroo, but Perez covers the line, but Ola even finds a way, even like that, and so he's back into P6, and now Sharp trying to take the opportunity to overtake Perez. And it's to the side as they approach Brooklands. Perez in the Ford, Sharp in the Ferrari, and Johnny Sharp moves past Perez, who lost 2 places in a couple of seconds. So now, all in P6, Sharp in P7, and Perez all down to 8th. Did not work well at all, while Will Friedman is struggling now to replicate the pace of Van Muden, and now he has to deal with McGowan, who is really putting some show and is aiming for a podium finish on this debut in the Super Sprint Sunday Tier 1. McGowan is 2.1 seconds ahead of Paul Vidler, who was the fastest in the free practice session. And in the meantime, all the action sits in the midfield. All are Sharp and Perez really close to each other. A fight for P6. Hopefully you'll be having fun watching this race and hearing it from my commentary, even if it's not perfect at the last time when I commentated Taco Tuesday. But still hoping to do a good job for you guys. Look at now, Sharp almost moving to the inside of the arena now corner to try to take all by surprise, but there was not enough room for the move. So Johnny Sharp still sits behind the Lexus driver, and Perez also waits for the chance to take the place from the Ferrari. But you can see the Lexus now having some troubles to keep the handle in the corner. And now it's having some struggles to keep Sharp and Perez behind him. And it's still Sharp now trying to come closer once again to the Lexus, fighting for 6th position. Look, someone also went off. I think it might be Mark Brustoli. Now, all with the slipstream. The Ferrari is not a real monster on the top speed factor, but Sharp moved to this side. Can he do something with the braking power? No, not yet. Ola keeps Sharp at bay. So it's still sixth for the Lexus driver. And you know this battle, Morgan Grace has recovered on the trio and might as well join the fight for the sixth place. A really good race for the Audi driver for now. He's not so comfortably in the top 10 and now can even claim more points along the way if all the Sharp parents continue with their scramble and their fight. But Borja just racing like in the middle of nowhere, 2 seconds behind Grace, 2 seconds ahead of Tucker. Not so easy for Sharp to try to take an attack on Ola because the Lexus are getting faster outside the corners and that really makes it difficult for Sharp considering he has a Ferrari. He has to fight with the Lexus and the Ford Mustang behind him. Now we approach the Beckett section. Let's see if the Ferrari in the corners and the braking can do something to try having a chance, an opportunity of pass on Ola. On the younger straight, he really went out of the last corner, the Chapelle, really fast. Sharp again using all the slipstream from the RCF GT3, but still not enough for a move. But wait a moment, maybe Ola went a little bit wide on the curves. Maybe Sharp can take that opportunity to try to put pressure, force him to an error, but it's almost Perez. Taking it by surprise, and that's contact, and Grace is collected as well. Disaster for Perez and for Grace. Luckily, it's been some minor contact, but Grace gets out ahead of both of them as Perez waits for the Ferrari, and so it's Grace now in P7 and Ray in P8, gaining more points by just staying out of the trouble. Good tactics so far, while McGowan now is really putting pressure on Will Friedman. Friedman really struggling to get some pace, and McGowan can take the ball and try to take some points away from Will Friedman. That's what Vermeulen will be hoping for as we approach the last 9 minutes of race 1 here at Silverstone for the Super Sprint Sunday Tier 1 Championship. Will Friedman ahead of McGowan for second place. Jari Vermeulen already long pass gone, 5.8 seconds. The gap, the advantage that the South African has on Will Friedman, while McGowan now pushing Friedman himself to try to take what would be a prestigious second place for the McLaren driver. Let's go on board with him, shall we? I mean, if we have, this is Will Friedman, of course, try to defend from McGowan, and McGowan will be having, here it is, in the McLaren. Let's jump on board with him. A mistake for Will Friedman. As you saw, he took that curve. He's struggling in the corners now with the Mustang. But can he use the top speed to keep McGowan at bay? And now McGowan trying with the move of Friedman on the outside of the arena section, but still nothing to really smash Friedman's resistance. really continue with the pressure. McGowan on Friedman. We saw the last lap really getting closer to try to break Friedman's defense as I tried to take the position away from the French. But so far, nothing came out still from McGowan, who's still waiting for the perfect moment to attack. While behind in the trio of silver drivers, Tucker Monoweg overtook Kalugin. And Kalugin having some difficulties now with Johnny Sharp behind him. Of course, we're still cutting only the overall championship, but just to know, for now, attacking the highest silver driver on track that is battling out with his fellow colleague and rival Monoweg as they both follow Eden, who's now P9. But for now, nothing short for a battle on the horizon, while McGowan surely will be hoping to force Friedman into a mistake and unleash a battle for second place with the fourth driver, 4/10. But still no glimpse of possible attack for McGowan, for the McLaren, as Vidal now is approaching the pair, so Paul Vidal can still fight for the podium spot. But Friedman's only mission now will be to keep McGowan Vidal bay, try to keep the second position. That could mean a lot for the championship ranking. As I already saw, every point counts, considering we only have 2 rounds left. This is the penultimate one. And they're still battling out with Will Freeman taking a different approach, a different line, and it's not gone with the smoothest of exit. But McGowan's McLaren is not match for the top speed of the mighty Mustang. And that's how Friedman still retains second place, while Vidal is slowly but approaching the pair. Meanwhile, behind we see Tucker, Monoweg, Kalugin, Sharp, all closed on each other, with Kalugin now under attack on Johnny Sharp for P12 on the stove. Let's see who will claim. Oh, they're still side by side almost, but Kalugin stays ahead of Johnny Sharp. And this one now, what an intense battle, even considering Tucker and Monoweg are really close, and that's all for the top 10 spot. So we have Monoweg in the pink and blue Huracan, trying to defend from Kalugin and from Sharp as well. And Monoweg almost lost it. And Kalugin saying, thank you very much, I'll take your place back. And that's a BMW stop on the track is number 4. And it's Harvey did. Really tough luck for him. And look, almost they bag wheels. Kalugin and Monoweg fighting for 11th place. Monoweg does not concede. Kalugin does not deny. They both went to the Brooklands, and now what goes in left field with Kalugin and Monoweg still side by side. Another bit of contact. Kalugin gets ahead, stays ahead, and now Sharp can take the opportunity to try and take a position on Monoweg, and he does so brilliantly. So Sharp up into P12 with Monoweg now will rebuild his run after being so close to try and take a maneuver on Andrew Kalugin. So Johnny Sharp is up into the P12, while up ahead we have now Bieder catching up on McGowan, while Will Friedman may have some room to try get away from the pair. A sort of lap for second place. It's only 1.5 lap remained, considering the lap times here at Silverstone for these GT3 cars. But McGowan is not giving up. He's not giving up still on Will Friedman. He wants the second place. He smelled the second place is possible. But the problem is there is enough time for another attempt on an overtake on Friedman. Because now Vermeulen is in the last corner and he will start the final lap of race 1 here at Silverstone. Here we are, the final lap of race 1 with Jari Vermeulen looking for great victory number 5 in this season, the most victorious driver in this season on Super Sprint Sunday, and yet is not leading. That's what it tells you, that the all matters is the consistency and the ability to bring results in any situation. And so far, Friedman is doing so brilliantly by holding McGowan and also Widler to a safe distance. Even in the struggles of the grip and of the tire wear on his Ford Mustang. Oh, something happened to Johnny Sharp. He lost a couple of places. There's been a heavy crash for Johnny Sharp. He's falling down the order. And that's a real shame. He's fallen down in 24th place. Even behind Ralph Gierman. And that's such a shame. Such a shame. While Friedman seemingly having the hold of the situation against McGowan and Paul Widler. So Will Friedman, if not for any mistakes or really big mistakes that will come into the final corner, we almost certainly keep second place and take another big haul of points towards the championship table. That's all that matters now for him, considering we're only a few races left in the season. But for now, it's been a Vermeulen masterclass here at Silverstone, where the South African being perfect from qualifying till the finish. And so Jari Vermeulen, the South African of the Ferrari, takes checker flag and win race 1 here at Silverstone. A brilliant driver for Jari Vermeulen to take victory number 5 of his season. Will Friedman manages to hold on McGowan Widler, so it will be second place for him. Third McGowan, fourth Widler. Brustulli will hold on to 5th place, while Ola Grace is still a battle, but Ola will finish 6th ahead of the Audi on Morgan Grace. Then Boha Hihige will finish 8th, and a mistake of Jonathan Tucker on the final corner, and that will allow Eden to move past for taking on 9th place, and then you may bet you Harris has a chance, but no, not yet. So Eden 9th, Tucker 10th, Matthew Harris 11th, Monewegi P12, Percy P13, Gordon Brown, a good first race for him in P14, Overlands P15, Luke Colpitz P16, Popov, Boston, Calgin, Lino reaching the Sabato, Kim, Sharpe, Andres Deli, only P25, disappointing from the Spanish, the Handley, Pospisil, Gerbino, and Harvey. And that's the race result for race 1 here at Silverstone, the 25-minute reaching rally, and it's won by Jari Vermeulen, who, as you can see, really without any opponent, at least for the first first qualifying race of this evening. So here is the final results for race 1. Vermeulen wins ahead of Friedman and McGowan. 4 Widler, 5th Brustulli, then Ola, Grace, Hikigay, Ed and Tucker in the top 10. Tucker, the first ranked drivers in the silver category. Then Harris, Vonderweg, Paris, Brown, Overland, Colpitz, Popov, Bustle, Karugin, Lino, Richings, De Sabato, Yearman, Sharp, Dilly, Handley, Pospisil, Gerbino, and Harvey. And that's all done for race number 1. Of course, now we'll be waiting for race 2 for the servers to set up, and for the grid to be settled. Of course, you all know it's gonna take quite some time, some minutes, just to rebuild the servers and settle things out, especially the static grid, who can be real tricky by the our servers. And so now we wait. Now we're waiting for the moment where they will all say we're we are ready to go again for race number 2 of Sprint Sunday Tier 1 Championship. Of course, it's been so far a great spectacle with a 25-minute race, but now here's the main plate, the main service, the reverse Harris Hustle, 45 minutes with reverse grid. Will be coming up very, very shortly. And hopefully, it will bring a great spectacle for the drivers and for us commentators and watchers on the Formula Racing League TV channel. So please stay tuned a couple of minutes and then we'll be back for race 2 and for all the preparation for the conclusion of tonight's event at Silverstone.
green light. Give us all you can. Green light. Go, go, go. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. Green light, show them what you got. halfway through. Keep pushing. final lap now. The leader has finished the race.